All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Good. All right. This is the approver call for those who have approved providers, the NPRLs. This is for August. I have put a file in the chat box for all of you to download. You should have received it today via email, but if you did not, the file is right there. It's called the ANC Accredited Approver. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share as well.
No, I couldn't get it to open.
Just now?
Let me see if I can do it.
I don't see it either, Joe.
It's in the chat box. So if you click into the chat box, you'll see a file.
Joseph, this is Suzanne. I just had to pull it over and it opened up.
Right. You either have to right click it, save it, what have you, however your computer works on opening a file. But it's in the chat box. Okay. Does everyone have access to it or can see it on the screen? All right. I'm going to assume you can see it then. So this,
I can see it.
okay, this is, we handed this out last week at the approver workshop, and it's been sent via email through Real Magnet. It went out today, and I can send it to you again if you need it, but it's also in the chat box. These are some changes that are going to be occurring. They really took effect on the 15th of August, but you have until January 2020 to implement it fully. You can start using it as soon as you would like. The templates won't be updated until November 1st, roughly. So just think about that as well. The manuals are expected to be published by the first quarter of 2020 with slight revisions. So we'll go over those together. And this is what your approved providers will be looking at to write to their self-study. Also, the accreditation statement is included in here in Appendix 2. You are free to use that starting today, or if you've already started using it. But we understand that some people are going to have a challenge changing it right away. So you have until January 1st of 2021.
Joe, I'm not sure. Where is Appendix 2?
Okay, it's at the bottom. It's right here.
Okay, that's not the document I downloaded from the email. This is a different document, I think.
But no, so the document that you downloaded should have been this. You might have gotten two. Well, no, I mean, no matter what, this is what I downloaded it, so it's what you would have downloaded.
Yeah, that's something different. Okay. All right, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get this.
Yeah. I know that some people got the provider and approver ones, but they're pretty much the same, except the crosswalk is says approved providers, and then the other one just says accredited provider. So that was the change. So the email says to download Appendix 1, but it is Appendix 1 and 2.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can you just repeat that, Joe? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So what are we supposed to do? Because I'm on my phone, so I can't see what you put in the chat box. Is it different from the email or?
No. Is this Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what you have. It's what you got on Thursday. She just wasn't.
So nothing.
No, she wasn't
Okay.
seeing Appendix 2. But
Okay.
Appendix 2 is just attached to Appendix 1. She wasn't seeing it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just.
So,
The reason I'm asking is for when because I'm assuming what was in the email is what we'll download to use. Is that accurate?
yeah, it's this. Yes, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's go through this together, and you can ask questions as you will, and then roughly about 1:20, 1:30. Anyone who doesn't, anyone who's not the NPRL for approved providers, I'm going to kick out, and then we're going to go through the decision matrix. So organizational overview, what has changed is we have 001A. I guess it would be easier if I go to the crosswalk. We have 001A, which is going to be an executive statement, high-level summary. So we are taking away all of the submit a description of provider unit, including but not limited to size, geographical range. It's still the same concept. We're just giving them a little bit more leeway on what they can write to us. Tell us about who you are, what you do, instead of having it talk about, are you part of a multi-focused organization, describe the relationship and all of that. We wanted to let them just tell us who they are. So we went ahead for 001A. It used to be 001A and B, and now it is just 001A, and it is executive statement high level summary. 002 used to be submit the names of everybody, submit position descriptions, submit organizational flow charts, and if you're larger, another organizational flow chart. We narrowed that down to submit a list of names and credentials, positions and titles of primary nurse planner and all other nurse planners, and submit a position description for the primary planner and the nurse planner. So 002 is A and B now. 003, the data collected and reported, we removed that. You can find that information in their NARS report, and you are able to pull that yourself. So instead of making them go in and download a file that's so hard to read, you can just pull that data from NARS yourself as the NPRL. And then 004, A and B was integrated into quality outcomes, which we'll get to in just a minute. So structural capacity, everything stayed the same, SC1, SC2, and SC3. The only difference is SC3, we added nurse planner. We want to know what's the role of the nurse planner, because they do play a critical role in the provider unit. So the criteria now states how the primary nurse planner / nurse planner provides direction and guidance to individuals involved in planning, implementing, and evaluating C&E activities in compliance with the ANCC accreditation criteria. Because as we all know, the nurse planner is the one who is leading those planning committees. So SC1, SC2, and SC3 pretty much remain the same. EDP1 is the same. EDP2, we added the word underlying, so it now reads, how the nurse planner identifies the underlying educational need, knowledge, skill, and or practice that contribute to the professional practice gap. The addition of the word underlying provides context to the criterion. So hopefully that's going to help your primary nurse planners understand what we're asking for there, how the nurse planner identifies the underlying educational need. So hopefully that works. EDP 3, the change is EDP 7 was moved to EDP 3. So EDP 7 is how the nurse planner identifies and measures change in knowledge, skill, and or practice of the target audience. So with EDP 2, they're looking for the underlying educational need, and then EDP 3, they're now able to go directly to how are they going to identify that underlying need, how that measure change was there. So hopefully that's more congruent with how they, you know, look at their need, and then they look at how they're going to measure it, such as you know, their evaluation methods. And if you are curious, you can also read the rationale as to why it was changed to the far right hand side. With EDP 4, 5, 6, and 7, what happened was just everything was moved down, and you can see that's narrated in the rationale. And then EDP 7, some wordsmithing was how the summative evaluation data for an educational activity are used to analyze the outcomes of that activity and guide future activities. So hopefully this will help your primary nurse planners understand this more. Just, can you mute yourself if you're not talking? You can, hopefully that will help them understand this isn't just a data dump, it's taking that data and giving us a summary of what was happening and what they plan to change. All right. So quality outcomes. Q01 is going to emphasize the evaluation of the provider unit as a whole. So Q01 now reads, the process used for evaluating the overall effectiveness of the provider unit in carrying out its work as a provider of continuing nursing education. So this is going to be what they do. And then you go into Q02, we broke that up to Q02A and Q02B. So Q02A is identify at least one quality outcome the provider unit has established and worked to achieve over the past 12 months to improve provider unit operations. Identify metrics used to measure success in achieving that outcome. So this is that 004A has brought down to Q02A. And then Q02B, using one of the quality outcomes identified in Q02A, explain how the most recent evaluation process, Q01, resulted in development and or improvement of an identified outcome for the provider unit operations, including how that outcome was measured and analyzed. So hopefully with the with rewording this, the approved provider is going to be able to give you at least one outcome and then give you supporting data on how that outcome was a positive impact to the provider unit. It's together, it's more direct, and hopefully it gives them the guiding framework to provide you with what we're asking for. The same with Q03. 004B was moved down to Q03A. Identify at least one quality outcome the provider unit has established and worked to achieve over the past 12 months directly related to nursing professional development. And then Q03, they're going to use the evidence that they have to provide you tangible evidence of how they were able to successfully achieve that. You'll see for QO2A and QO3A, the provide a list is gone, and there will be no list there for them to just copy and paste like some people did, not understanding that we were asking for a little bit more. So that's really a brief overview of the criterion, which needs to be implemented by January 6th. You can start using it however soon you would like. The templates won't be available probably till mid-October, beginning of January. But you can take these and change your own templates if you would like. And then the accreditation statement is here as well. You know, you can start using that as soon as possible, or you have until 2021 to implement it if it's going to be a challenge for you. But you'll see there's the accredited approvers, approved provider, activity approval, and pending approval. And if you do have distinction, it is an option that you can use your distinction statement, or you can use your regular statement. It really just depends on what you would like. Right. Are there any questions on this criterion change, or any thing that I can clarify for you? Did everyone get the email from Real Magnet?
Joe, this is Carol Walker at the Midwest Multi-State Division. Our NPRL did not receive this email.
Who's your NPRL?
Judy Dunn.
I sent it to her.
Okay. She says she's never received it.
Okay.
Thank you.
It
This
was
is
sent.
Linda Wilson. I didn't get it either.
Linda Wilson, you wouldn't have gotten it. Well, yes, you would have. Let me check
It
why
comes from
you.
accreditation at ana.org, though, I believe, not Real Magnet.
You're correct. It did come from accreditation.org. It's just the program. Yeah, Judy's on the list because I checked, but I will forward it to her so she can have it. But
Yeah, you might want to do that just in case. I will check with her. It's been a couple of days since we received it via another source, and then found out she had not gotten it. So she may have gotten your direct one since then. But if you would, that'd be great.
yeah, I just sent the one today. So
Perfect,
yeah.
Joe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Joe, I could not open it. I could not open either one of those. It was gobbledygook.
Then that's something on your end. I would maybe try a different browser, Lynn, because I know that I got it on 2 different emails and it was fine. So
Okay.
that would be something on your end.
Joe, I've got a question about the accreditation statement. This is Susan R.
Uh-huh.
On the very last one where you said approved provider statement with distinction with an approver without distinction,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
the one for without distinction, it looks like the language is the same as the one above it. So I'm assuming that distinction should not be in the approver statement.
Let me see really quick here.
The very last block.
Yep. So approved provider with distinction with an approver with distinction. So it says it would be, let's just say XYZ is an approved provider with distinction of nursing continuing professional development by the State Nurses Association, an accredited provider with distinction, where the bottom one is.
Doesn't have, I gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So
That makes sense. Ooh, it's a lot of distinctions and
yeah. So an approved provider may achieve distinction, whereas the accredited provider may not have achieved distinction. So we just wanted to make sure that that option was there.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right. I added to Zoom, it said it was non-verbal feedback, but I don't have that on mine. Do you guys see a new thing that you have on your Zoom? I don't see anything that says,
Nope.
no, me neither. I wonder if it's, all right, I'll have to look into that. Because it's supposed to allow you to say okay or all of that. And I was able to add breakout rooms, so if we would ever need to break out, but I don't see any non-verbals. Okay. Any questions, concerns about this memo? I will send it to Linda Wilson and Judy Dunn.
I
have a-
apologize, Joe, because
Go ahead.
I'm on the phone, I can't see the document that you have pulled up. Does this also, are you still waiting about the contact hour thing, or is that something you're going to talk about later?
As of right now, I was told that contact hours must be rounded up to the nearest quarter. So it is a must. That is what I was told.
Even if our state says otherwise?
Yes.
So what's the office's suggestion about what we do to navigate that?
Well, first, you mean this will be hard, but definitely have that conversation with the state. Other accrediting bodies, I think we talked about this, other accrediting bodies do this already. Pam did pose a question, which is going to be evaluated. So it might be that you, I think it's just going to be a discussion we're going to have offline for people. And then,
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, because
that's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I know. Yeah.
And just to clarify, that was supposed to be implemented immediately, or do I have till January?
January.
The contact hour thing. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Good.
Everything in the
That's
memo.
helpful.
Yep. Everything in the memo is January. However, you do have the opportunity to implement it.
Yes.
And you can pick and choose too. You don't need to
Right.
implement
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Thank you
Uh-huh.
for that clarification. I appreciate that.
Yep. You're welcome.
Just a quick clarification. When we are putting in our name, is it just the state association name, or can we use our state association name accredited approver unit? Can we make that our name there?
I'm not sharing anymore. Sorry. I was looking for that. Let me pull this back up. I was looking for the nonverbal thing. Explain to me. Okay, so you're talking about your your accredited approver statement?
Right. Can our name be our state association name with accredited approver unit included in that name?
No, I would just good question. I would just have I put it in your letter. You wouldn't change from what I put in your letter.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Because if you put accredited approver unit, I mean, it would be redundant because it does say here is accredited as an approver of. So I would just put what I have in your statement.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other clarifying questions? Wanted to maybe just look at some of the,
I'm
Hey, Joe.
sorry, Joe, I do have a clarifying question.
yeah,
I know that you guys aren't prescriptive, but I was just thought if we could discuss how folks are going to implement this with their approved providers. Is the suggestion that we send out like individual letters to each approved provider, or is it enough just to communicate it as a mass email with the XXS is approved as a provider? Just wondering what would be best practice.
yeah, I'll let other people chime in, but what I would do, I would maybe use it as a, what do you want to call it? When you bring in customers, because if you like tease about it and then you have it at your update and then like start discussing it at your update, like increase your learners there. But you could also send it out as a memo. So as you know, what we did, we introduced it into the workshop, we sent it out as a memo, and I'm going over in a call. But for like a large organization like you, I think you're going to be a little different than other people. But what would other people do with implementing this change? And
This is Terry. I'm in Connecticut. I'm doing a training for all of our approved providers in November. So I will try and introduce this for the new folks, and then we do invite the old folks that we've had also to come. So I will introduce that and I guess send the new materials out. But how soon do you think the template will be available?
Probably soon, but don't like I just to give us time, we put November. But remember that you can update the template you already have. So unless
Right.
you're just using ours.
Yeah, we are using yours, I think. So I was just thinking, would it be worth it for me just to wait till the new one comes out?
Maybe.
So,
It depends on when you want to start using it.
yeah. Okay.
Yep, but I'll
Thank
work
you.
on that. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, this is Linda. Couple quick questions. For the new template you're talking about for this new self-study template?
Yes, for approved providers.
Okay, and then for the certificate, what we were thinking of doing is because of our if they're using the contact hours for certification, they have to be exact because they actually have to divide them up a certain way. So we're going to put the total number of contact hours, what it exactly came out to, and then also put on the certificate the ANCC contact hours, which are rounded up to the next quarter. Do you think that would be a permissible to put both on the certificate?
I don't know, but you just brought up a good point there about ANC certification and other certifications. It does have to be exact. So I guess if that's your plan, I would do that because you have to do that. But let me bring up these issues to COA. And
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry, I missed like the first half of that. I started, so you're going to do 2 contact hours?
No, they have to be exact for the nurses that use them for their certification, the exact number. So we are going to put, like we currently do, the exact number of contact hours on the certificate and another line saying the ANCC contact hours rounded up to the next quarter. So they would have both numbers. So if they're just using it generically for the license, they can use the rounded up one. If they're using it for their certification, they have to use the other number that's on there because it has to be exact. Is what we're thinking anyways right now.
yeah, no, that makes sense. But I know like Kelly, their board requires they have strict educational rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I really like that because you would still be in compliance with both with that method. It would just be confusing to learners, I think. It would take some learner education.
Well, it's going to add a lot of work to our approved providers. They're not going to be happy about that.
Well, and you know
Oh.
what? I'm wondering with things like, depending on their LMS providers, I know there was a big change with HealthStream this year that caused a lot of confusion with my approved providers. I'm wondering if that's even a possibility on their certificate template, if we're going to run into some problems with stuff like that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm thinking that would be an easier implementation with individual activity applicants than it would be approved providers. Mm.
It's unfortunate. I thought the goal was to reduce workload and not add to it. That's unfortunate that it's not optional.
Well, and I think too, I think Joe and you know, this isn't the first time some of us have said some of this, and luckily we've got time. We've got till January, so we can just wait on the office to figure this out and not make any changes until we have to.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan as well. We have a meeting on Monday, and I will we'll bring it up. Good, and then just keep providing feedback as well. Okay, I do have to hop off early because we have an all-staff meeting at 2 o'clock. So I need if you don't deal with the decision matrix, stop sharing. I need you to sign off if you're not the NPRL. Let me just make sure. Okay. Right. I know Rosie's gonna stay because she has to update her. All right, I'm just gonna do it really quick. All right, Shar, you're with Weatherly and Rosie, Terry, Pam, Lindsay, Susan, me, Terry, Carol.
I'm working on it.
Okay. 614, that's Kelly.
Yes.
806. Let me see here. Okay, I don't know how I'm pulling. There we go. Okay, there's my. All right. Okay, 806 and 402.
806 is me, Sharon from Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna mute you again then. All right, who's 402?
Joe, it's Judy Dunn.
Okay, good. I'm
on
mute.
my phone in my car.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll mute you. Or you can mute yourself. So, because I don't think you can unmute yourself if I mute you. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the matrix here. We'll go over it quickly. You all got the email today. I sent it out.
Joe, while you're pulling that up, just a question. Can we share the crosswalk with our approved providers?
Yeah.
I assume yes. Okay, good.
Yeah. Any of that information you can use and share as you would like. Okay. Now I'm going to reshare. Let me know that you're seeing it. And just to clarify, you all received the email, correct?
Joe, this is
Yes.
Judy. I did get it this morning. Carol just wasn't aware of that when she covered for me on the first part of the call.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I figured you did. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So this is the decision matrix. You all received it. The did I send the decision matrix crosswalk? Can someone tell me?
No.
Okay. So there is a decision matrix crosswalk that I will send after this call, and I'm going to go ahead and send the recording of this call to everyone. I sent this to this morning, just so you have it as a reference. So here's the crosswalk. Structural capacity remains the same. Education design remains the same. Quality outcomes is increased to 2.7. And then accreditation denial is criterion domains are all less than SC is less than 2.7, and EDP is less than 2.6, and QO is less than 2.7, and an average score of activity files is less than or equal to 85%. So that is an accreditation denial. Provisional, the change is 2.7 for quality outcomes, and or average score of all activity files is less than equal to less than 85%. So with this, some people would have either they did very poorly on the self-study and really well on the activity files, or they did all really well on the self-study, but their activity files were poor. So this just gives you that supporting documentation of why you might have made them provisional. If someone would file a complaint, you would say, we have standards that we need to follow, and this will support you in that. Accreditation, the quality outcomes is up to 2.7, and activity files is equal to or greater than 85%. Accreditation with distinction would be at least one criterion domain is 3.1. All criterion domains are within 3.0, and an average score of activity files is greater than 90%, equal to or greater than 90%. So this, just a few changes, but they are major changes. And then I want to talk about the process of using the decision matrix. The decision matrix is there to help you make that decision. So we have a process that COA created to make sure that our accreditation standards are being met. So you receive your self-study, you do your appraisal of it, a review, how you will. You can collect evidence. If something's missing, you can request additional evidence, but there should be no coaching or remediation during the cycle or whatever you guys review, whatever you call it. There should be no remediation of that whatsoever. So if somebody's missing an important part in the structural capacity, you can't email them and say, hey, I need you to fix this, and then send it back to me. You need to take it through the process. Remember, you can request additional information, but there should be no coaching or remediation during the process, which there has been some organizations that are doing that. So that needs to stop immediately, and you need to follow the process, which is receive the document, review the document, request additional information, and then make your decision. So if somebody is missing, let's say, structural capacity 2 and EDP 3, they would probably be either provisional or accredited, and to get them up to standards, that's when you would provide a progress report for them. And that's when you can do your remediation and education. After you've made your decision and you've sent them their letter and you've asked for a progress report, then you can help them. There should be no helping during the process. Does that make sense to people? Okay. Are there any questions about the decision matrix?
I have a clarifying question.
Yes.
So we can still use virtual visits. It doesn't have to be written. Is that accurate? For the additional evidence, we can use the virtual visit as our additional evidence gatherer?
Yeah, you just need to have evidence of like
Okay.
what you've asked for. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, however your process is, that's, you continued using your own process. Just make sure it mirrors our process. So if you do your additional information through a verbal virtual visit, that just make sure you have documented that, and then there's evidence in the file. So the thing with this, it went into effect July 1st, and some of you got it last week, and some of you are getting it today. So moving forward, this is your decision matrix. The old one cannot be used. So all of your, granted, you're probably going to finish up the ones that you're doing right now. But as soon as those are done, and any new ones that you get starting today have to fall under this decision matrix. Can we get a copy of this example? Someone asked if they could get a copy of this example. Yeah, you mean the crosswalk? Is that what you mean? I'm assuming that's what you mean. And this was my fault. I think I sent the memo and the decision matrix. I didn't send I was supposed to send this, and so you guys probably got the memo like 3 times today, which is
Joe, can I just clarify what you just said before the question was asked? So if we are in the middle of a cycle, should we begin using this new decision matrix?
I would say moving forward, any new applications you start, use this. Because if you're in the middle of this, I don't want you to have to. I mean, if you can use it, yes, please. But if it's going to be a hassle, there really shouldn't be a reason you can't use it. But try everything you can to use it. And if you can't, I get that. And we'll, it'll be fine.
Okay. We will plan to use it.
Yeah. And remember, this is just for approved providers. So it's not individual activity application or anything like that. So anybody who has, electronic, I don't know how many of you have electronic for your decisions for approved providers, but I understand that might take a while to navigate. Okay, any questions on this? And I will send out the recording and the walkthrough. And then Judy, you did receive the memo?
I received your email this morning, Joe. I am not in the office today, so I just saw that I got one of your emails. I'm assuming it is the memo, so I just not sure if it's got the decision matrix with it or not. I'll be back in the office later today. I'll try to double check it and get back to you if it's not there.
Okay, I'll just forward that on to you just in case. But the message you got from me directly was the decision matrix. That one's confirmed.
Okay, great.
Yep. All right. Good questions about the memo, guys. I will take those to Jennifer and Koa and see what they say. Any questions, though, on this? Everyone feel overwhelmed and you'll catch up later? How are we doing? Okay. Does anybody see nonverbals? That's annoying me a little bit here. All right, I'll play with it for later. Okay, I'm gonna.
Joe, the only thing is, I see in the if you open up the participants list,
Yeah.
there's like little buttons that says yes, no, raise hand, go faster, go slower. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Where do you do that at?
If you open up the participant list, click on participants. It's at the bottom.
Oh,
Do you see it?
yeah,
Okay.
I do see it. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe that's it. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. But I thought it would look better than that. Okay. All right, everyone.
Joe, I do have just one question. I'm looking at the, I do have the decision matrix, not the crosswalk that was came today. So is it still a 1 to 4 range?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I don't see that listed on the decision matrix. I just want to be clear.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, scoring? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still 1 to 4. And then was that ever, I don't think that was ever on the decision matrix, was it?
I don't remember.
No, you use your rubric for that.
Okay.
The rubric hasn't changed.
Okay.
This is just your final scores.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is locked, so the only thing you can do is fill in the gray boxes. So you wouldn't be able to accidentally change anything. So it is a locked document. I'm just want to see someone raise their hand. Oh no, it's a clap. Okay, I get it. Never mind. That's gonna be boring. Okay, I thought it would be more interesting, but it's not. All right. So if you have any questions, email me. Look at the documents. If you're concerned about something, reach out. Shouldn't be a stressful thing. I don't really think that it's creating more work. So I apologize if anyone feels like that, but I think it will be beneficial, and I think that you guys have brought up some good points on other areas that we need to look at. But overall, good job, and if you need anything, reach out. That's really it. So think about it, reflect, and we can touch base next month, and then if anything changes, I will update you immediately on what the discussions were. Remember, COA meets on Monday as well. So, all right, everyone, I'm gonna hop off. I will send you the link for this video. It will not be in the learning community because we do have the decision matrix. So make sure that you don't share this video with anybody, and you don't share that matrix with anybody. Try to make sure I hit all of your guys' chats. I want to make sure I don't leave anyone. All right, so yeah, I will send a link. I have to think about that because you guys do not want me sending this huge file to your email. So I have to figure out how to link this for you. And then I will send you the crosswalk. I think what I'll do, just to make it easier for you, I will put reference in the title. I will send the crosswalk, the memo, the link, and the decision matrix, so you have it all in one email. Okay, so you're not searching around. All right, everyone have a good rest of your week, and email me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.